Imagine, right now, at this very instant, there's a man completely captivated by you. Your image haunts him. Your laughter echoes like a persistent melody in his thoughts. And your name. It's the password to his subconscious, one he enters dozens of times a day. He might be a master of disguise, a champion of the poker face, but his body is a brazen, blabbing traitor, having spilled all the beans long ago. He's head over heels, and you probably don't even realize it. Why? Because you've been told your whole life that relationship psychology is about declarations, promises, and grand pronouncements. But true male attraction, it's a silent code, one that 97% of women can't crack. What you're about to discover won't just change your understanding of men, it'll hand you a universal key to their souls, a skeleton key to the vault holding their true feelings. We won't waste years reading tea leaves. We're bringing in the heavy artillery, the ideas of the great, and dare I say, devilishly perceptive Carl Jung. He discovered that when a man genuinely loves a woman, his unconscious goes into overdrive, sending out signals that are physically impossible to fake. While female psychology makes you analyze his texts, searching for hidden meanings between the lines, male psychology is already screaming his feelings through body language. It's not a quiet whisper. It's a deafening roar you just need to learn to hear. We're journeying into the heart of the psychology of love, guided by the insightful thoughts and relationship concepts of Carl Jung. Before we dive in, let's see who's joining us on this voyage. If you're here because you want to decipher a man's secret signals, simply write "here" in the comments. And if you're a man here to peek into your own subconscious, write "present." Let's see who's in the majority, the seekers or the researchers. And don't forget to pay our dues with the local currency, a like and a subscription, because we do this for you on our channel. The silent code of a man's heart. The tragedy of modern relationships is that we're looking where the light is better, instead of where we lost something. We wait for verbal confirmation, when the most honest signs of infatuation lie on the surface, hidden in his gestures, his glances, even his silence. That's the key question. How do you know if a man likes you when he's silent as a clam? The answer is laughably simple. Stop listening to him and start seeing him. If a man truly loves, he's not just putting on a cheap act for an audience of one. A man's behavior fundamentally, instinctively changes when he's in love. He can tell himself and you that it's just a crush, a little flirtation, or that you're just friends. But his body has already made its decision and delivered its verdict. He's serious about you. These signs of attraction from a man aren't something he can direct or play. It's not an Oscar-worthy performance, more like a primal, almost animalistic reaction, rooted in the deepest layers of his psyche where the archetype of the beloved resides, the one Carl Jung described. When this archetype is activated by meeting that woman, the man is no longer in control. His unconscious takes the helm and starts broadcasting secret signals of attraction that only those who know the code can recognize. As the maestro himself said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. That's why when a man hides his feelings, he's like a pot with a tightly sealed lid. The steam will still find a way to escape. Our job is to learn to see those wisps of steam while everyone else is focused on the lid. He might be reserved with his words, but his actions will shout his feelings like a town crier. Consider this. One man might disappear at the first sign of trouble, leaving you in a whirlwind of doubt and anxiety. Another, on the other hand, becomes even more present in moments of crisis. His presence becomes almost tangible. One is only interested in the moment, in a fleeting spark. The other already unconsciously sees you in his future, weaving your image into his long-term plans. The difference between them is colossal, and it's defined not by words, but by these uncontrollable signals. It's the difference between cheap costume jewelry and a genuine diamond. One glitters in the light, the other shines from within, even in total darkness. Understanding this language gives you a huge advantage. You stop being a victim of circumstances and other people's games and become in control, able to see the truth behind words and promises. What does his silence conceal? Why do they stay silent? Why does a man who seems ready to move mountains for you and pluck the moon from the sky struggle so much to squeeze out those three little words, as if he's donating blood without anesthesia? The answer lies in the harsh social programming that starts in diapers. From childhood, boys are hammered with destructive, soul-crushing beliefs. Men don't cry. Stop whining. Don't be a girl. Be strong. Never show weakness. This multi-year emotional castration leads to many men simply not having the developed tools to verbalize their deep feelings by adulthood. They can spend hours talking about work, politics, football, or the latest car model, but when it comes to love, their vocabulary shrinks to the size of a walnut, and their tongue turns into an awkward lump of meat. But, as we've already established, the body never lies. It's the most honest conversationalist. And here, not only psychology comes into play, but also pure, unadulterated biochemistry. When a man is genuinely in love, his brain turns into a full-blown drug lab, working 3 shifts without days off. His personal dealer, dopamine, a neurotransmitter of pleasure, is responsible for feelings of euphoria and reward, compelling him to seek your presence with almost manic persistence. This isn't a rational decision. It's a chemical command that his brain sends to his whole body. Find her, be near her, and you'll get a dose. Then, oxytocin steps in, the so-called bonding hormone, or cuddle hormone, which creates a strong biochemical connection and activates the ancient protector instinct. It literally makes the man feel the need to care for you, protect you, and ensure your safety, both physical and emotional. It's not chivalry for show. It's his biology in action. That's why, when you're together, strange, almost mystical things start to happen. Things Jung called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that seem like magic, but are actually markers of a deep, unconscious connection. He calls just when you were thinking of him. You suddenly discover that you share common, completely unexpected interests, dreams, or even childhood traumas. Your lives seem to start moving in the same rhythm, like 2 perfectly tuned instruments in an orchestra. It's not magic. It's your unconscious picking up signals from his unconscious. Jung believed that in every man lives an anima, an unconscious archetypal image of the ideal woman. And when he meets one who resonates with his anima, something clicks. An inner recognition occurs. He feels whole, complete, as if he's found the missing piece of himself. And this feeling is so profound that any words seem cliché, flat, insufficient to express it. As Jung himself said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So, let's make his unconscious conscious for you and take destiny into our own hands. We've just broken down why men behave the way they do. We looked at the theoretical part, his head filled with Jung and his blood full of dopamine. But theory without practice is dead. It's just a collection of pretty words. If you thought that was deep, hold on tight. In the next part, we're moving from the why to the how. We'll dissect the 8 unmistakable signs, the concrete actions and signals that reveal a man in love. It'll no longer be philosophy, but pure, practical guidance, almost a spy manual. Ready for the big reveal? The secrets of a man in love. So, we've covered the theory. Now, to the heart of the matter. We're moving from philosophical musings to concrete, tangible tools. Before you are 8 keys, 8 markers that unmistakably reveal a man's true feelings. This isn't fortune-telling, it's observation. Forget what he says, watch what he does, and don't forget to support our channel with a like and a subscription if you appreciate content that makes you think, not just consume. The first and most powerful sign is in his gaze. The eyes, as cliché as it sounds, are truly the mirror of the soul. In the case of a man in love, they're a widescreen display broadcasting his inner state in HD. I'm not talking about a lustful look that undresses you in 3 seconds. That kind of look is empty. It's focused on the object. I'm talking about a look of deep recognition, as if he's seeing through your physical shell and recognizing something familiar and dear. This is what Jung called the reflection of the anima, when a man sees in a woman the reflection of his inner ideal. Science confirms this. When we look at someone we feel a deep connection with, our pupils involuntarily dilate. It's a reflex that's impossible to fake, even if he tried. He'll maintain eye contact longer than usual, as if he's trying to memorize every detail, every freckle, every spark in your eyes. And the surest sign is when you catch him looking at you when he thinks you're not watching. He's not staring. He's contemplating. He's observing how you laugh, how you interact with others, how you adjust your hair. In that moment, no one else exists for him. It's a look full of admiration and quiet tenderness, and it speaks louder than 1,000 ardent declarations. The second unmistakable sign is in how he manages his time and space. When a man is truly invested, he unconsciously reorganizes his life to fit you into it. And it's not a sacrifice, not a favor. It's an instinctive need. He won't string you along or say he's too busy. Remember, a man who's constantly busy for you is simply busy with someone else. A man in love, on the contrary, will shift his schedule, change plans, and rearrange his priorities just to spend more time with you. He doesn't disappear for days without explanation, making you play guessing games. His presence in your life becomes a constant. And even more telling is how he manages physical space. His body is like a compass, always pointing towards you. In a group, his feet will be directed towards you, even if he's talking to someone else. He'll find excuses to close the distance, hand you something, sit closer, brush an imaginary speck of dust off your shoulder. It's not cheap pickup artistry. It's an unconscious desire to be in your field, in your aura. He instinctively wants to be closer, and his body carries out this order before his brain can even formulate it. The third sign, perhaps one of the most touching, is his selective memory. Our unconscious is a genius filter, discarding 99% of information as trash and saving only what it deems emotionally significant. A man in love develops an almost photographic memory for all details related to you. He remembers that silly story about your childhood hamster that you mentioned in passing. He remembers what kind of coffee you drink and that you're allergic to lilies. He'll notice that you changed your nail polish or got a new haircut, even if you yourself consider it insignificant. It's not because he's consciously trying to impress you or cramming facts about you like a student before an exam. His brain does it automatically because you've become a priority for him. Information about you is tagged in his system as top priority. As Jung said, it is psychic presence, when a person occupies a privileged place in our thoughts. If a man remembers such small things about you, things that even your friends forget, know that you live in his head, and it seems you've already managed to decorate it to your liking. The fourth sign is emotional vulnerability. Men are taught from childhood to wear armor, hide weaknesses, and be unbreakable rocks. When a man starts sharing his fears, insecurities, dreams, and even past failures with you, he's doing something extremely rare and valuable. He's voluntarily removing that armor in your presence. It doesn't mean he's going to constantly whine and complain. No, it's not about weakness. It's about trust. Vulnerability can manifest in small ways. He shares his concerns about a difficult project at work, talks about a dream he's never told anyone about, or admits to some imperfection. Essentially, he's saying without words, I trust you so much that I'm willing to show you that part of myself that I hide from the rest of the world. Jung called it revealing the shadow. The shadow is those parts of our personality that we deem unacceptable and hide. Allowing someone to see your shadow is the highest form of emotional intimacy. If a man does this, he's not just in love. He sees you as his ally, his person, someone he can be real with. We've covered half the keys, and those were the fundamental core signals. If that's already intrigued you, get ready. The next signs concern not only his inner world, but also how he starts to change his external world to make you an integral part of it. We're moving from the personal to the social, and here deception becomes virtually impossible. The fifth sign is how he integrates you into his social circle. A man who's just playing or unsure of his feelings will keep you in a separate, isolated compartment of his life. You might meet in private, but his friends will be mythical characters to you, and you'll only guess at the existence of his family. A truly invested man does the opposite. He instinctively wants you to become a part of all aspects of his life. He introduces you to his closest friends, not casually, but with pride, as if he's presenting a priceless treasure. He talks about you with his family, includes you in important events, whether it's his mom's birthday or a barbecue with friends. He doesn't hide your existence. On the contrary, he wants his whole world to know you. It's an unconscious marker that he doesn't see you as a temporary episode, but as a constant and important part of his identity. The sixth sign is how he projects the future. And here, it's not about him starting to discuss the names of your future children on the second date. That's more of a red flag. It's about naturally, effortlessly including you in his long-term plans. He talks about a trip that's happening in 6 months, and it's taken for granted that you'll go together. He mentions a concert of a favorite band that's coming in a year, and asks if you'll go. He uses when we, and will need to, so organically, as if there could be no other way. He doesn't pressure or impose. It happens naturally because the thought of the future without you simply doesn't occur to him. He might talk about his life goals, ambitions, projects, and listening to him, you suddenly realize that he's somehow imperceptibly woven you into that picture, leaving an important role for you. It's a sign that in his mind, your timelines have already crossed and are moving parallel in the same direction. The seventh sign, one of the most primal, is the instinct to protect. And again, it's important not to confuse this with toxic jealousy, control, or possessiveness. It's about genuine, sincere care for your physical and emotional well-being, a behavior deeply rooted in the male unconscious. Jung called it the guardian complex. It manifests in 1,000 small ways. He instinctively walks on the sidewalk on the traffic side. He puts his jacket on you if it gets cold. He'll be genuinely concerned if you encounter difficulties and offer help, not to show off, but because he's physically uncomfortable with your discomfort. He'll be attentive to changes in your mood and notice something is wrong even before you say it. It's not playing the rescuer. It's an instinctive reaction to the value you represent to him. He sees something precious in you that needs to be protected. We've traveled through 7 gates of the male subconscious. You've learned to read his gaze, gestures, even his memory. But all this can be just a bright flash if it doesn't pass the test of the main judge, time. The 8th sign, the one we're about to talk about, separates fleeting infatuation from genuine devotion. It's the litmus test that will show whether his feelings are truly gold or just gilded. If you've watched to this point and are ready for the final revelation, just put a plus in the comments. It'll take a second, and we'll know that you're with us and ready for initiation. The 8th, and perhaps the most revealing sign, is consistency over time. Any behavior can be faked for a short period. A man can feign interest, attention, and care for several weeks, or even months, especially in the initial stage when hormones are raging. But if there's no genuine emotional connection behind it, the mask will inevitably fall. The famous emotional swings will begin. Today he's hot. Tomorrow he's cold as an iceberg. Today he's around. Tomorrow he's gone off the radar. A truly invested man demonstrates consistency. His energy, interest, and attention are stable. It doesn't mean that the relationship will be monotonous and boring. It means that it will be reliable. You won't wake up every day wondering if he loves you today. You'll know it, because his behavior will confirm it again and again. True affection is not a fireworks display that flashes brightly and fades. It's the steady, unwavering light of a lighthouse that shines always, in any weather. And it is this consistency that is the final and surest sign that you are not dealing with a player, but with a man with genuine and deep feelings. How to read a man without words. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, you have in your hands not just a set of interesting facts, but a real tool for transforming your personal life. You'll no longer wander in the darkness of doubt, trying to interpret his mixed signals. You'll be able to see the essence. If there's a man in your life who consistently demonstrates these 8 signs, understand that it's incredibly rare. It's that resonance at the soul level, that meeting of unconscious selves that Jung spoke of. Treasure it. And now, before we say goodbye, we ask you to do one thing. Click pause right now, and without pretense, without trying to look right or smart, just write in the comments what you felt during this analysis. Which discovery was the most important for you? Maybe you recognized these signs in someone, or conversely realized that you were being led by the nose. We won't judge. We'll only support you. This is our space of honesty, where you can be yourself. This knowledge also places responsibility on you. If you see that a man is opening up to you, demonstrating vulnerability and devotion, but you in return build walls out of past hurts and fears, this precious connection can be lost. A real relationship is a dance of 2 people who have decided to remove their armor. And most importantly, you gain confidence, an unshakable confidence in your ability to distinguish superficial interest from genuine love. You stop depending on words and start trusting what you see and feel. And that is perhaps the most valuable gift you can give yourself. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Subscribe to not miss new dives into the depths of the human soul.